Why aren't they texting back? Are they really busy? Or is there something else going on? Let's be real. If they wanted to reply, they would. You've felt it, haven't you? That slow, sinking feeling in your gut. Minutes turn into hours, hours into days, and your phone stays silent. You find yourself staring at the screen, scrolling through old conversations, searching for clues. Maybe they didn't see your message. Maybe they forgot. Maybe, just maybe, if you send one more text, they'll finally respond. But deep down, you already know the truth. You know because you've seen the difference when they were excited to talk to you. Replies came in seconds. They laughed at your messages and kept the conversation going. And now, nothing. Just cold, empty silence. It doesn't make sense, does it? One day, they're all in. The next, they're distant and unreachable, as if you never even existed. And the worst part? They know you're waiting. They feel your hesitation. This is where most people crumble. The silence eats away at them. They overthink, they panic, and they start crafting the perfect message to pull the other person back. But here's the cold truth. Their silence is a test of your strength, your patience, your self-control. Whether they admit it or not, they're watching. Even in silence, they're paying attention to what you do next. Do you break? Do you chase? Do you let the absence consume you? If you do, you fail. Because people don't pull away from those they admire. They don't ignore those they truly desire. If they're pulling back, it means one thing: they're reassessing your worth. Every moment you spend waiting, every second you waste hoping, you're lowering your value in their eyes. You're showing them that their absence has power over you. And the moment they sense that, the attraction dies. Attraction isn't built on words, it's built on presence and power. Power never belongs to the one who waits by their phone, hoping for a reply. Power belongs to the one who is unfazed, the one who understands their worth doesn't depend on someone else's attention, the one who knows their time is too valuable to waste on someone who won't match their energy. That's the difference between someone who gets ignored and someone who commands respect. You must become that person. So now, the choice is yours. Do you stay trapped, waiting, doubting yourself, letting their silence control you? Or do you take back your power, embrace the silence, and become someone who no longer seeks validation? If you're done feeling powerless, if you're ready to take control, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I release what I cannot control. Number 1, they pulled away. Here's the hidden truth you never saw coming. You might think they pulled away because they lost interest. Maybe you believe you said the wrong thing, didn't text enough, or weren't exciting enough. But the truth is far deeper than that. Most people never see it coming. They didn't pull away because of what you did. They pulled away because of how you made them feel. In the beginning, everything was thrilling. You were a mystery, a challenge, someone they had to figure out. But slowly, without even realizing it, you started giving too much away. You texted good morning, checked in on their day, and always responded instantly. At first, they liked it. It felt good. But then something changed. The replies came slower, the enthusiasm faded, their energy shifted, and you didn't understand why. It didn't make sense. Weren't you doing everything right, treating them well, being consistent? That's when most people panic. They sense the distance, and instead of pulling back, they push forward. They send longer messages, double text, and ask if everything's okay. But every attempt to reconnect only pushes them further away. Why? Because the dynamic has shifted. You went from being the prize they were chasing to the one chasing them. In that moment, they felt it, the imbalance of power. People crave emotional highs. They are drawn to the unknown, to the uncertainty of not quite having something yet. It's not about logic, it's about psychology. The moment they feel like they have you completely, the thrill starts to fade, the excitement dulls. It's like a game where the final level has already been beaten. There's nothing left to win. You might wonder, but isn't consistency a good thing? Shouldn't they feel safe with me? Yes. But here's the paradox. Safety without challenge is comfort, and comfort without desire is boredom. When they sense that their presence is the center of your world, something shifts in their mind. They start questioning your worth, not because you're not enough, but because they wonder if they are all you have to focus on. Are they really the person you thought they were? It's human nature to value what feels just out of reach. That's why people spend thousands on luxury brands, chase dreams that seem impossible, and feel a thrill in the pursuit of something uncertain. The moment something becomes too available, too predictable, its perceived value drops. Imagine a rare painting locked away in a private collection. People whisper about it, dream of seeing it. Now imagine that same painting mass-produced, hanging in every coffee shop. Does it still hold the same magic? This is why they pulled away. Not because you did something wrong, but because you became too predictable, too safe, too available. You made them feel secure, and paradoxically, that's what made them lose interest. You might ask, so what do I do now? Just ignore them? Play games? No, the answer isn't manipulation, it's self-respect. The answer is shifting the balance back, becoming scarce not out of spite, but because your time is valuable, becoming unpredictable not out of strategy, but because your life is full. They need to feel like they're losing you, not because you're playing hard to get, but because you genuinely have things that matter more than waiting for them. Think about it. The people who command attention, who naturally draw others in, aren't sitting by their phone hoping for a response. They're out there living, moving forward. Their absence creates a pull because people feel the difference when someone who was once available suddenly isn't. So now you have a choice. Keep chasing and watch them slip away, or pull back and let them remember why they wanted you in the first place. Number 2, master your emotions or be controlled by them. Right now, your emotions are your worst enemy. The sinking feeling in your chest, the racing thoughts, the urge to check your phone every few minutes. It's all controlling you, and if you let it, it will destroy you. But here's the truth. The person who masters their emotions masters their reality. Most people don't realize this. They react. They get anxious when someone pulls away. They get angry when they don't get a response. They become desperate for validation. But a person who is ruled by emotions will always be weak in the eyes of others. Nobody respects someone who crumbles under pressure. Respect is given to those who remain unfazed, those who stand firm in the face of uncertainty. That's what makes someone powerful. Think about it. Who is more attractive? The person who panics when they don't get a text back, sending message after message trying to grab attention, or the one who notices the silence and simply moves on without hesitation? The answer is obvious. One is needy, the other is unshakable. Attraction is always drawn to strength. This isn't about suppressing emotions, it's about controlling them. The moment you let someone's actions dictate how you feel, you give them power over you. And once they sense that power shift, something changes. They lose respect. This is what most people don't understand. Every time you react emotionally, every time you show that their absence affects you, you lower your value. It's not because emotions are bad, it's because people test each other, consciously or unconsciously, to see who will break first. If you let your emotions take control, if you show that you can be shaken, you lose. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That's the foundation of emotional control. So they don't text back? So what? They pull away? Let them. Your emotions stay the same because your value never depended on them in the first place. This is where most people fail. They believe their worth is tied to how others treat them. But a king doesn't beg, a warrior doesn't flinch, a person of value doesn't chase. Now you have a choice. Stay trapped in the cycle of emotional weakness or take control. Become someone who remains unshaken no matter what happens. Because in the end, the one who controls their emotions controls everything. Number 3, the less you care, the more they want you. Here's something most people will never understand. The less you care, the more attractive you become. It sounds backward, but it's one of the most powerful psychological truths. People aren't drawn to those who chase, they're drawn to those who are hard to catch. Think about the ones who naturally attract attention. Are they the ones constantly sending messages, checking their phones, and overthinking every interaction? No. They're the ones too busy living their lives. They aren't waiting for a response because they have bigger priorities than seeking validation. And because of that, they give off something impossible to fake: genuine detachment. When you stop caring whether someone texts back, you communicate something powerful. Your time is valuable and it's not given away easily. That alone creates an irresistible pull. Why? Because people are wired to want what they can't easily have. Scarcity creates desire. The moment you make yourself too available, you lose the very thing that made them attracted to you in the first place: your mystery, your presence, your power. Detachment isn't about playing games. It's not about pretending you don't care. It's about actually not caring. It's about shifting your focus away from them and back onto yourself. When they sense that you're unaffected by their absence, that you're perfectly fine without them, their perception of your value changes instantly. Suddenly, they start wondering, why aren't you chasing? Why aren't you affected? Did they misjudge you? Did they make a mistake? And just like that, they're back in their own head, questioning everything. That's the paradox of attraction. The moment you let go, they come back. The moment you no longer need their attention, they start craving yours. When you stop thinking about them, they start thinking about you. This is why people who have options, who are truly content with their lives, never struggle with attraction. Their energy isn't desperate, it's magnetic. They don't chase, they attract. Now it's your move. Keep grasping, hoping for a response, or step back, reclaim your power, and let everything fall into place on its own. Number 4, the ultimate test. Will you break or stand strong? People test each other always, whether they realize it or not. They create moments of uncertainty just to see how you'll react. This isn't manipulation, it's instinct. It's how they figure out whether someone is truly strong or just pretending to be. So when they stop texting, when they pull away, when their energy suddenly shifts, this is the test. The question is, will you pass? Most don't. The moment they sense distance, they panic, they overanalyze, they overtext. They try to explain or fix something that isn't broken, believing that if they just say the right thing, everything will go back to normal. But they don't realize that pulling away isn't the problem. It's their reaction that determines everything. A weak person scrambles, a strong one stays still. This is where emotional control separates those who command respect from those who lose it. When you're non-reactive, nothing shakes you. They pull back, fine. They stop texting, cool. They act distant, doesn't matter. Your energy stays the same. And that's when everything changes. Why? Because they were expecting a reaction. They were expecting you to chase, to get emotional, to show them they have control. But when you don't, now they're the ones questioning. Now they're wondering why you're so calm. Now they're thinking, did I misjudge them? Did I lose something valuable? This is psychological warfare, and only those who have mastered themselves come out on top. People are wired to seek strength, not just physical, but emotional and psychological strength. If you fall apart at the first sign of distance, they know you're not the person they thought you were. But if you remain steady, unbothered, completely unfazed, that's when the power shifts back to you. Every test is an opportunity to show that you're not weak, that you don't beg, that you don't chase, that you don't fold under pressure. And when they realize that their little game doesn't affect you, that's when they start chasing you. So now the test is in front of you. Will you react like everyone else and lose their respect? Or will you hold your ground, stand firm, and show that nothing shakes you? Your response defines your value. Pass the test. Number 5. The sweetest revenge. Become the one they can't have. Revenge isn't about anger. It's not about proving a point or trying to hurt them back. The best kind of revenge is simple. Becoming so powerful, so unshakable, that they have no choice but to regret losing you. And that doesn't happen by texting them. It doesn't happen by trying to convince them to come back. It happens in silence. Right now, they expect you to wait. They expect you to linger in the background hoping for another chance. But what happens when you do the opposite? When you disappear, not just from their messages, but from their life entirely? That's when regret begins. At first, they might feel relief. They might think they made the right choice. But as the weeks go by and they realize you haven't reached out, something shifts. Doubt creeps in. Did they misjudge you? Did you ever even care? Have you already moved on? And that last question, the idea that you've moved on without them, that's the one that haunts them the most. Because in their mind, you were supposed to wait. You were supposed to be affected. But now, instead of clinging to the past, you've become the one who got away. And nothing torments the mind more than lost potential. But here's the key. You don't just disappear, you level up. You hit the gym, build your business, refine your style, mindset, and goals. You become the best version of yourself, not for them, but for you. And when they finally look back, they won't just see the person they left. They'll see the person they can never have again. That's the irony. The moment they realize they lost something valuable, they'll try to come back. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but eventually the regret will surface. They'll reach out, test the waters, try to see if there's still a chance. But by then, you won't care. Because the real victory isn't getting them back. It's realizing you never needed them in the first place. Now it's your move. Stay stuck in the past, waiting for them to change their mind or rise so high they can only wish they never let you go. Number 6. The power of walking away, the move that changes everything. There is no greater strength than the ability to walk away and never look back, not as a strategy, not as manipulation, but because you refuse to stay where you're not valued. This is what separates the weak from the powerful, the willingness to leave even when it hurts. Most people can't do this. They hold on, hoping, waiting, convincing themselves that if they just try a little harder, things will change. They justify disrespect, excuse silence, and cling to false hope. But the harsh truth is this: a person who cannot walk away will always be controlled. The moment someone senses you're afraid to lose them, they own you. Walking away isn't about abandoning people, it's about choosing yourself first. If someone treats you like an option, you don't stay and beg for better treatment. You leave. You send a message without words that your time is valuable and your presence is not guaranteed. And when you truly embrace this mindset, everything changes. You become scarce, valuable, untouchable, because a person who can walk away at any moment is a person who cannot be manipulated. This is where most people get caught off guard. They expect you to stay, they expect you to linger, waiting for another chance. But when you walk away with absolute certainty, without bitterness or resentment, That's when they start questioning everything. Because suddenly, you're not the one begging for attention. You're the one they can't reach anymore. And that is power. The person who is willing to walk away is the one who never has to. The moment you establish that you're not afraid to lose someone, they start treating you differently. They respect you more. They value your presence. They know that if they push too far, you will not hesitate to leave. And that changes everything. So ask yourself, are you the one who stays where you're not respected, or are you the one who knows their worth and walks away when they're not valued? Because in the end, the strongest move you can make is the one where you simply turn and never look back. Number 7. Cool as a cucumber, mastering unbreakable confidence. Confidence isn't about being loud or constantly proving yourself to the world. True confidence is quiet and steady, a calm center that remains unshaken by the turbulence of external events. Many mistakenly believe that confidence stems from the validation they receive from others, whether from a partner's attention, public admiration, or even social status. But the moment that external affirmation is withdrawn, those who depend on it crumble like a house of cards. As Marcus Aurelius wisely observed, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. A Stoic understands that real confidence is forged within, independent of how many people admire or desire them. It's not measured by the number of texts received, the fleeting compliments, or even the balance in one's bank account. Instead, it's built from an inner resolve that remains intact, regardless of external circumstances. Imagine a sturdy oak tree weathering a fierce storm. The wind may howl, and the rain may batter its branches, but its deep roots hold it firm. Similarly, a person with unbreakable confidence stands resilient amid rejection, distance, or heartbreak. When a partner pulls away, when messages go unanswered, or when they choose someone else, it might sting at first. Yet if you have cultivated your inner strength, those setbacks become nothing more than passing gusts against an immovable trunk. A common question arises: how can I remain unaffected when I feel so deeply about someone? The answer lies in shifting your focus inward. Instead of anchoring your worth to another's approval, invest in your own growth, develop your skills, pursue your passions, and build a life that radiates purpose and fulfillment. In doing so, you construct an inner sanctuary where external noise, be it praise or rejection, cannot penetrate. Consider the men who move through life with a palpable sense of purpose. They aren't the ones obsessively checking their phones or bending over backward to impress anyone. They act with deliberate calm, secure in the knowledge that their value isn't defined by someone else's fleeting attention. This isn't about ignoring emotions, it's about mastering them. A Stoic knows that vulnerability is a part of the human experience, but also that how one reacts to life's challenges is what ultimately shapes character. In relationships, this mindset is transformative. When someone who has mastered their inner strength faces silence or rejection, they remain composed, not because they are indifferent, but because they understand that their self-worth is intrinsic. Their calm is not a sign of coldness, but of self-assurance. They don't scramble for validation, and they certainly don't let another's actions dictate their emotional state. As Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." In this light, every challenge becomes a chance to reaffirm your inner worth, much like a sculptor chiseling away excess stone to reveal the masterpiece within. There may be moments when you wonder, doesn't the absence of validation leave me feeling isolated? It can feel that way initially, but remember that true confidence grows through self-reliance. When you find joy in your own pursuits and derive satisfaction from within, The silence of others becomes a background hum rather than a deafening void. This inner radiance naturally draws others to you, not because you're broadcasting your worth, but because your calm and unyielding energy speaks louder than any overt display of need ever could. Think back to the stories of great leaders and artists, many of whom faced rejection or isolation before their true value was recognized. Their early setbacks did not define them. Instead, they honed their craft and built resilience. In the same way, every moment of rejection or silence can serve as a catalyst for personal growth. By choosing to invest in yourself rather than chasing external approval, you elevate your entire existence. Ultimately, the journey to unbreakable confidence is not a destination, but an ongoing process, a daily practice of self-reflection, growth, and unwavering self-respect. It is about recognizing that your worth is inherent and cannot be diminished by the absence of another's affirmation. When you embody this stoic mindset, every setback, every moment of silence, and every rejection only reinforces the knowledge that your true strength comes from within. So ask yourself, are you content with seeking validation from others, or are you ready to cultivate a deep-seated, unshakable confidence that remains constant regardless of life's ups and downs? When you stop relying on external praise and instead nurture your inner resolve, you become not only unbreakable, but irresistibly magnetic. That is the power of true confidence, a force that stands firm in the face of adversity, drawing respect and admiration naturally, like the calm assurance of an oak tree enduring the fiercest storm. Number 8. Reborn. Rise from the ashes. Right now, you stand at a crossroads with two choices: remain stuck in the past or rebuild yourself into someone unrecognizable, even to your former self. Most people get trapped replaying memories and fixating on what went wrong, waiting for a miracle that never comes. The truth is harsh. They aren't returning in the way you imagine, and even if they did, you wouldn't be the person they'd regret losing unless you evolve. Rebuilding isn't about seeking revenge or proving anything to anyone. It's about becoming someone you can respect, someone who no longer feels the need to chase or wait for validation from others. Imagine a shattered vase that, with time and effort, is transformed into a mosaic. Each broken piece reassembled into a work of art even more striking than before. That is what rebuilding means. Instead of wasting your energy scrolling through old messages or obsessively checking social media for signs of what once was, redirect that energy into nurturing your body, sharpening your mind, and fueling your mission. Every moment spent dwelling on the past is a moment stolen from your future self. Consider the men who have experienced heartache and emerged stronger on the other side. They didn't wallow in regret, waiting for closure. Instead, they transformed their pain into fuel. They hit the gym, built businesses, mastered new skills, and reinvented themselves to such an extent that even the person they once were would be unrecognizable. As Friedrich Nietzsche once said, "That which does not kill us makes us stronger." These men understood that true power lies in the ability to rise from the ashes of despair and forge a new path. You might be wondering, how do I start this transformation when every part of me is still tied to the past? The answer is to shift your focus entirely from what you've lost to what you can gain. Redirect your attention inward, nurture your talents, refine your goals, and invest in your growth. Think of your life as a garden. If you constantly water wilted plants of past memories, nothing new can take root. Instead, cultivate the soil of your future. Plant seeds of ambition and watch as a vibrant new self blossoms. Every second you invest in self-improvement is a step toward becoming the stronger, sharper version of yourself. This isn't about erasing your past, but about learning from it and using it to propel you forward. With every workout, every book read, every skill acquired, you are rebuilding, not just your body or mind, but your entire essence. You become someone who stands tall in the face of adversity, who is defined not by what has been lost, but by what can still be achieved. At times, doubts may creep in. Is it really possible to leave behind the pain and emerge renewed? You might ask. The answer lies in embracing the process of transformation with patience and persistence. Just as a blacksmith tempers steel through intense heat and repeated strikes, your trials are the fires that forge an unbreakable spirit. The journey is arduous, but every challenge you overcome is a testament to your resilience and a stepping stone toward a more empowered you. Remember, rebuilding yourself isn't about becoming someone different for someone else. It's about becoming the best version of yourself for your own sake. When you reach that point where you no longer tether your worth to external approval, you unlock an inner freedom that radiates outward. You become a beacon of strength and self-assurance, drawing respect and admiration naturally. There's a profound satisfaction in knowing that your value comes from within, not from the fleeting opinions or actions of others. Envision a phoenix rising from its own ashes. This powerful image encapsulates the essence of rebuilding. It symbolizes the ability to transform devastation into a new beginning, to let go of what no longer serves you and emerge with renewed vigor and purpose. In this process, you shed the old skin of regret and self-doubt, replacing it with a new identity forged by experience, wisdom, and an unyielding will to succeed. Ask yourself, will you allow the remnants of past pain to define you, or will you harness them as the catalyst for personal revolution? The choice is yours, and it marks the beginning of a journey toward becoming a person of unwavering confidence, unstoppable energy, and boundless potential. As you invest in your own evolution, you create a life so powerful and compelling that it leaves little room for regret, both on your part and on the part of those who once underestimated you. In the end, the transformation you seek isn't measured by whether someone from your past comes back, but by the undeniable strength and fulfillment you build within yourself. Embrace the challenge, rise above the memories, and step boldly into a future where you are defined not by your losses, but by your remarkable ability to rebuild and reinvent. Number 9. The final lesson. When you truly move on, there comes a moment when the weight of the past is lifted, when the relentless need for answers or validation finally evaporates into thin air. That moment is when you truly move on. And here's the irony. The second you stop caring, the exact moment you let go of what once defined you, that's when they begin to feel it. Not when you force an attitude or put on a facade, but when you genuinely reach a place where their presence no longer holds sway over your inner peace. At that point, they start to wonder if they made a mistake, if they let go of something precious. Because often, people don't value what's always there. They value what they've lost. Imagine a skilled musician who, after years of playing the same tune, decides to improvise. The notes they choose now are unexpected, vibrant, and full of life. Those who once listened with certainty are now captivated by the melody of change. In the same way, when you break free from the chains of nostalgia, your transformation creates a resonance that they cannot ignore. They begin to question the void that your absence leaves behind, wondering if the harmony they once enjoyed has been replaced by a silence that speaks volumes. You might ask yourself, what happens when I stop caring so much? Won't I feel emptiness? The answer lies in the wisdom of letting go. When you free yourself from the need for closure, when your energy is no longer tethered to another's actions, you open up to the possibility of infinite potential. It's like a bird finally released from its cage. Suddenly, the entire sky becomes the limit. As the renowned poet Rumi said, The wound is the place where the light enters you. In that vulnerable space where you once clung desperately, true transformation begins. At some point, you realize that moving on is not about erasing memories or denying the past. It's about building a future that's so compelling that every moment becomes an opportunity for growth. When your life moves forward vigorously, deliberately, and unapologetically, they will notice. And when they do, it won't be with envy, but with regret for having underestimated the power of a person who chose to rise above. The truth is, the goal was never to force their return. The goal was to become someone who no longer needed their validation to feel complete. Think about the metamorphosis of a caterpillar into a butterfly. There is a time when the caterpillar must abandon the safety of its cocoon, surrendering its former self to the transformative process. When the butterfly emerges, it is unrecognizable from what it once was, radiant, free, and graceful. Similarly, when you let go of what once held you back, you don't just attract the attention of those who once mattered. You become magnetically irresistible to a world of new opportunities, experiences, and relationships that affirm your true worth. It's natural to wonder, how can I be so sure that letting go is the right path? What if I'm making a mistake by moving on? These questions are the whispers of a past self clinging to familiarity. But the reality is that growth is never comfortable. True progress often requires discomfort, a deliberate step into the unknown, where you trust that every experience, whether joyous or painful, is a stepping stone toward a better version of yourself. As the ancient Stoics taught, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. By releasing the hold of what once was, you diminish the power of regret and replace it with a vibrant, forward-looking mindset. There is a profound beauty in the act of moving on. When you finally let go, you begin to experience life in a way that is entirely liberating. Your focus shifts from waiting for someone to notice you to noticing everything that life has to offer. Every sunrise, every new conversation, every challenge becomes a part of your narrative of renewal. And as you embrace this new perspective, you create a ripple effect, drawing in people who resonate with your energy, people who are attracted to the authenticity of someone who has mastered the art of letting go. In the process, you realize that the true victory is not measured by whether they come back or regret their choices, but by the undeniable strength that you cultivate within yourself. It's about understanding that the past is a chapter closed, and that the only thing that truly exists is the present, the person you choose to become right now. When you stop searching for closure, stop waiting for an apology, and stop seeking revenge, you find freedom in simply being. Your journey becomes one of self-discovery, where every day is an opportunity to redefine who you are. When you move on, you no longer allow someone else's actions or inactions to dictate your happiness. Instead, you create your own joy, your own success. You become a beacon of strength and resilience, a living testament to the fact that nothing can hold you down if you choose to rise. Your life transforms into a canvas where every stroke, every color, is a reflection of your inner power and unwavering determination. And in that transformation, they begin to see not just what they lost, but what they will never have again, a version of you that is unstoppable, brilliant, and deeply self-assured. Ultimately, the journey of truly moving on is not about abandoning the past or dismissing the lessons learned. It's about honoring those lessons while recognizing that they no longer define you. Your worth is not measured by someone else's recognition or the echo of old conversations. It's measured by the strength of your character, the clarity of your purpose, and the courage to build a future that belongs solely to you. So as you stand at this pivotal moment, ask yourself, Are you still clinging to the remnants of what once was? Or are you ready to step fully into the life you are meant to lead? The moment you fully embrace the power of moving on, you will find that life begins to move in ways you never imagined, rich with new possibilities, relationships, and experiences that celebrate the extraordinary person you have become. When you truly move on, you no longer search for validation in the eyes of others because you know your worth. You become the author of your own destiny, writing a story that is as vibrant and dynamic as the person you are today. And in that story, every page turned is a reminder that the only true power lies in the ability to let go and start anew.